the sound of music still lingers upon the path. Not long ago, we walked among the celebrations of Zamboanga, a people sharing their culture through music, tradition, and community. And here in Negros, the journey begins with another celebration. When many people think of Negros, these are often the faces they remember, smiling, colorful, alive with movement. An image carried far beyond the island itself, an image that has become one of the most recognizable symbols of Negros. For many visitors, this is the Negros they first encounter. The Negros found on postcards, travel guides, photographs, and memories brought home after the journey ends. Every place has a face, the face that greets visitors, the face shown to the world, the face people remember long after they have gone. And for Negros, these smiling masks have become one of those faces. But a face is only the beginning of a story. And every path continues beyond what is first seen. Beyond the face of Negros, the path continues. Beyond the celebrations, another image begins to appear. Not one carried on postcards, not one found in festivals, but one that has shaped Negros for generations, the fields. There was a time when much of this island moved with the rhythm of sugar. Planting, growing, harvesting, season after season, year after year, generation after generation. The land shaped the work, and the work shaped the lives of the people. Communities grew where opportunities appeared. Roads connected places that once stood apart. Towns expanded. New paths emerged across the island. The story of Negros cannot be separated from these fields. They influenced where people settled, how communities developed, and how the island came to be known across the country. For many years, sugar helped define Negros, but the fields did more than produce a harvest. They transformed the landscape itself. And when a landscape changes, the stories of its people change as well. Yet every path eventually leads beyond the fields, because the island remembers more than a single chapter of its story. And beyond the land that changed Negros, other traces remain, waiting. The fields changed the island, and the island changed with them. Across Negros, traces of another time remain, old houses still standing beneath the same sky. Churches that have watched generations come and go. Roads that continue to carry people long after those who first walked them have faded into memory. These places were not built for us. They were built by another generation, yet they remain. Watching lives they were never meant to see. There was a time when these halls were filled with conversation. Families gathered here, children grew here, Decisions were made here, lives unfolded here, today. Many of those voices are gone, but the places remain, and sometimes that is enough. Because memory does not always survive through words. Sometimes it survives through what people leave behind. The story of Negros is written across more than books. It is written across landscapes, across streets, across buildings that continue to stand long after the people who built them are gone. Every generation leaves something behind, a structure, a tradition, a lesson, a story, something for those who come after. But even these old houses, even these old churches, are not the oldest witnesses on this island. Because while towns were built and generations came and went, something else remained, watching from above, silent, unmoved by the passing of time. Beyond the houses, beyond the fields, beyond the roads shaped by generations, there is something that does not change. Mount Kanlaon, it does not belong to one era, it belongs to time. Before settlements formed at its base, it was already here. Before harvest defined the land, it was already here. Before the names of towns and cities, it was already here. And like all things that endure, people learn to look at it differently, not as something to use, not as something to take, but as something to respect. Because there are places where silence feels natural, not empty, just full of something older than words, and when a place remains still for long enough, stories begin to gather around it, not because the land asks for stories, but because people try to understand what they cannot easily explain. And so the mountain becomes more than land. It becomes presence, a witness, something that stays while everything else moves. But mountains do not carry stories alone. They remain still. It is the people who carry what happens around them, and so the path continues toward those who remember. When a place stands for long enough, people begin to speak about it across generations. Stories formed around Mount Kanlaon, not written in books at first, but spoken, shared, passed from one voice to another. One of these stories speaks of a great force that once brought fear to the land. In some tellings, it appears as a serpent, a presence that threatened the balance of life around the mountain. In different versions of the story, a figure rises to face it, known in some accounts as Khan. In others, Lion, a name that carries different meanings depending on who remembers it. The details change with time, but the structure of the story remains: a threat, a response, a resolution, and a land that continues forward. Whether the story is understood as history or as meaning, it survives for one simple reason: someone carried it. But mountains do not choose what is remembered, they simply remain. It is the people who decide what is passed forward and what is allowed to fade, and so the path continues toward those who carried memory itself. Long before knowledge was written, it was carried, not in pages, but in people. In many communities across the Visayas, there were those who held what others could not afford to forget. The Babaylan, they were healers, not separated from life, but part of it. When people fell ill, they turned to the land and to those who understood it. Plants, roots, leaves, knowledge gathered from observation, from experience, from generations before them. But healing was only part of what they carried. They also held memory, the stories of families, the customs of communities, the rhythms of planting and harvest, the understanding of when to plant, when to wait, when to prepare. Not as written instruction, but as lived knowledge. Even the mountain was part of this understanding. The forests of Kanlaon held more than trees. They held resources for survival, plants used for healing, paths known only through experience, knowledge passed carefully from one generation to the next. The Babaylan were not outside their communities, they were within them. Trusted not because they were separate, but because they were connected to land, to people, to memory. And this is what made them important, because before writing existed, before records could be stored, a community survived only if it could remember itself. And memory was fragile. It could disappear in a generation, or survive across centuries. The difference was who carried it. The Babaylan carried what could not be easily replaced, not as power, but as responsibility, healing, knowledge, memory, continuity. And in that responsibility, something becomes clear. This was never about the past alone. It was about ensuring the future would remember where it came from. What remains in Negros today is not only memory, it is life continuing. The fields are still here, changed in time, but still part of the rhythm of the island. What once shaped entire generations still shapes the way days move forward. The old structures remain, not as ruins, but as part of the present, living alongside new roads, new homes, new generations. And beyond the movement of daily life, the mountain still stands, unmoved by the pace below. Life continues here in its own rhythm, not separate from the past, but shaped by it. What was once built, what was once remembered, what was once carried, still moves through the present in quiet ways, not always seen, but always present. And at this continuity, nothing is fully lost, because what is carried long enough becomes part of the land itself. To the people of Negros, your island is often seen in many ways. Through celebration, through fields, through old houses that still remain, and through the mountain that watches quietly from afar. Each of these carries a part of your story, but none of them stand alone. Because what shaped this island was never just the land, and what carried it forward was never just time. It was you. Generations who lived through change, generations who worked the fields, built the homes, passed on the knowledge, kept the traditions alive in ways seen and unseen. Some things were preserved in stone, some in stories, some in practice, and some in silence. But all of them continued forward because they were carried. There is a difference between a place that exists and a place that is remembered. Negros is both, because it has been carried across generations. And in that carrying, something remains unchanged, not the form of the island, but the connection between those who lived before and those who live now. So when people look at Negros, they may first see celebration. They may see history. They may see landscapes. But what holds it together is the people who continue to live it.